This is the Telescopic World Season 3 Chapter 3. In this episode, we will be talking about the endgame used to which psychic spies are put in the war against a geopolitical opponent. The psychic spy is usually someone who is conditioned to adopt the worldview of a geopolitical adversary. By implication of this, psychic spies, who usually don't know they are spies, are the most effective form of transmitter/receiver. But the process of creating a psychic spy involves the use of psychological warfare against the spy, to force them into a position of antipathy to their own state. By repeatedly conditioning this behavior, a psychic spy is arranged according to lateral altars within geopolitical opponents, receiving high-level conversations as a receiver, and transmitting them as a node within a psychic network. But the end goal of this psychological conditioning is the full integration of the psychic spy within the military forces of the geopolitical opponent. The reason is simple. Psychic transmitter/receivers remain the only form of transmitter or receiver, which can thought broadcast local positions, tactics and strategy to their domestic allies from behind enemy lines. And the best part is, when they switch sides, they don't even know they are being used by the domestic spy agency. They don't even know they have been subject to an aggressive campaign of terror, to produce in them the desire to defect. That is why, transmitter receivers which begin as psychic spies, creating back channels from the opposition within geopolitical opponents, end up as military informers against their will and knowledge. They have no idea that their political alignment is the product of an aggressive psychological warfare campaign designed to make them defect. Now, there are defenses against this program of psychological warfare. They all rely upon use of existing architecture, political, psychological, institutional and religious structures within a home state to reorient one's worldview and decondition one from depatterning designed to compel them to defect. Psychic spies are useful in peacetime, but their use when embedded in enemy forces is demonstrably greater, because they represent a real-time link to their handler regarding battlefield positions, tactic and strategy. It is also true to say that since the digital truncation system built into every digital device can undermine the expression of narratives which run contrary to the agenda by truncating them, substituting words, deleting words, and otherwise impacting the credibility of the author and the expression of narrative, every digital device is subject to this system of control. They can alter any content which is digitally stored before it is physically reproduced. This means that the ability of any transmitter/receiver to redirect their worldview away from the conditioned one, requires use of a non-digital landmark or signpost. This may be anything with narrative, from a book, produced prior to the 1950s, when they still used the mechanical press to produce books, to an institutional structure with more than 70 years history. For if you desire shelter from the psychological warfare campaign being waged against you, you will find it most surely in a narrative system created before 1950, before the invention of the digital transistor. Make that narrative your Bible, return to it when your worldview is shifting again towards some geopolitical opponent, and you will be able to resist the programming designed to make you a military spy for your domestic power. Thus, the scapegoating of transmitter receivers knows no bounds. They will psychologically torture you, to make you the perfect spy, then when you lose your usefulness to them, i.e. you start to remember the received conversations, they will influence you into defecting to their geopolitical adversary, to make you that much more effective as a military spy. It all sounds great in principle, but it means not only will you be branded a traitor to your nation, you will be remembered as such. It isn't enough for them to torture you in this life. They must torture you in the next as well. That's the end of the podcast for today. If you enjoyed it, please like, comment and subscribe.